The Pack-a-Punch, made famous for its ability to improve damage output, increase ammo capacity, and sometimes even throw on some attachments. All with the promise from old Jeb Brown himself that it won't suck. And how do you make these upgraded weapons feel upgraded? By slapping on a cool camo, that's how. It all started with Darius. Pack-a-punching here gave your gun a shiny metallic coat with an ornate pattern engraved into it, making it look more like a work of art rather than a mass-produced firearm. In World at War, it has these darker accents that really make the pattern pop out, but in Black Ops, it's all the same silver color, which makes the design a lot harder to see. But this map also had a second Pack-a-Punch camo reserved specifically for the Wunderwaffe, either black in World at War or gold in the Black Ops version. Despite the engraving camo being a downgrade in the Black Ops version, it still would have been nice to see these camos come back in future maps, but sadly they would not be seen again outside of Darius. Although I am still very happy with the one that we would get next. In Black Ops, upgrading your gun would give it this shiny black base with red circuitry running over it. I really like this more high-tech appearance. It fits in with the science fiction aspect of this game, and it looks like something a weapon upgrading machine would actually do to a gun. I know I'm very biased towards Black Ops 1, but I would call this the best Pack-a-Punch camo in all of zombies. Unfortunately, the next entry would be a bit of a downgrade in my opinion. In Black Ops 2, the Pack-a-Punch camo has this sort of blue and yellow wavy pattern. It looks fine in the dark, it kind of reminds me of obsidian or something, but when you take it out into the light, it looks more like, I don't know, spilled oil. Although unlike the previous games, Treyarch started to experiment with map-themed camos, Afterlife for Mob of the Dead, and Weaponized 115 for Origins. Well, those are the names of the multiplayer variants of these camos, but for the sake of simplicity, I'll use them for zombies too. Afterlife is a black, stony camo with these fiery cracks in it that form these demonic symbols, though it is not actually used for the Blundergat or its variants. And Weaponized 115 has this blue, gem-like appearance, much like the 115 rocks seen on the map, as well as some diesel punk-styled segments. They are both very well designed and fit perfectly within their maps. Next was Extinction, which didn't have a Pack-a-Punch. Instead, there was the arc attachment, which served the same purpose, but it didn't apply a special camo to the gun, so we'll just move right on along to Exo Zombies. This game had the Upgrade Station, which offered 20 tiers of incremental upgrades and 20 different camos. Some of them are kinda interesting, but they're not really all that special or memorable. Each tier has its own camo, but they all feel randomly chosen, so there's not really a sense of progression while you're upgrading the gun, at least until the last three, which are Gold, Royalty, and Diamond. Then Treyarch returned to the spotlight for Black Ops 3, and they wanted every map to have its own stylized Pack-a-Punch camo, just like Mob of the Dead and Origins. Shadows of Evil has an updated version of Afterlife called Ritual, which hints at the connection between the Apothicons and Mob of the Dead. The Giants camo, known as Etching, is very similar to the original Darius camo, just worn down with yellow accents and has new imagery engraved into it. Unfortunately, it's kinda hard to see on the guns, but when you directly compare the textures, it's pretty obvious that they're related. This is also the camo that is used on Nacht, Verrucht, and Shinonuma when you upgrade your weapons with Gobblegums. Der Eisendrache has the same Pack-a-Punch machine from Origins and therefore uses a very similar camo. It's just all gem and no diesel punk. This is also the first one to come in a variety of colors. There's the viney, plant-like camo from Zetsubo, dragon scales on Gorod Krovi except on the Mark III for whatever reason, and the cosmic camos from Revelations, which are all completely unique and match their respective maps' aesthetics. I do wish that there was some kind of in-universe rationale for the Pack-a-Punch camo to keep changing despite the machine being the same, even if it were just something small like the distortions on Mob of the Dead, but at least they're still good camos. Except for the Zetsubo one, that one never really did it for me. We also see updated versions of the older camos return for Chronicles, such as my beloved Circuitry camo from Black Ops 1, although I don't really like it as much in this game. It doesn't seem quite as shiny, and the circuits are a lot more densely packed, which sometimes gives the gun more of a reddish look rather than a black and red. And Weaponized 115 is back on Origins, although the diesel punky parts are now just dark gray, but I still like it. Oh, and the Black Ops 2 camo is on Kino. After Black Ops 3, almost every map to come out would get its own special upgrade camo. There are a lot of them, so I'm not going to get into each one, but I will broadly go over what each game did. Infinite Warfare had 2 camos per map, a base version and a double upgraded version, kind of like Exo Zombies but with just 2 tiers instead of 20. World War II didn't do anything too special with their upgrade camos, but it was the first game to give you the option not to use them. Black Ops 4 leaned heavily into the alternate color palettes for each one, except on Alpha, Omega, and Togder Toten. Mastercraft variants and guns with reactive camos on them will not change their appearance when upgraded, and of all the wonder weapons that can be pack-a-punched, a majority of them will not obtain their map's camo. In fact, some of them hardly change at all. Then Cold War, Vanguard, and Modern Warfare Zombies all use the same system, 3 upgrade tiers and a camo for each. And excluding Vanguard, you can knife the Pack-a-Punch machine, which will let you keep your custom camos when you upgrade. Oh, and the Black Ops 2 camo does make an appearance on D Machina. Overall, these newer camos are not bad, but I would say that most of them are pretty unremarkable. Either they're too dark, overly designed, or just needlessly animated. But to be certain that it's not just me, I did a little community post to see which ones you guys like the most. And there are certainly some post-Black Ops 3 maps with good camos, like The Beast from Beyond, Bodega Cervantes, Classified, Dead of the Night, Togder Toten, Mauerder Toten, and Terra Maledicta / the Archon. But there is definitely a preference towards the ones from World at War to Black Ops 3, with Der Riese, Mob of the Dead, and Origins being the most popular by far. Maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's just camo oversaturation, or maybe they really aren't as good nowadays. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were intentionally being made worse so that people would feel more inclined to buy better ones from the shop or grind out the mastery camos. I mean, they could have easily used the fan favorite Afterlife on Blood of the Dead, but instead they chose to save it for supply drops. And Vanguard didn't even launch with one. Overall, I don't really care if every single map gets its own camo or if there's just one for the whole game, and I don't care if they have a more fantastical design or if they take a more grounded approach. I just want them to make my gun look powerful and distinct, feel fitting for the mode, and still be on par with the other camos in the game.